You should never throw old toothbrushes that you no longer want to use back in the bin. Instead, you can do 9 really ingenious things with them, which I will show you in this video. So let's get them out of the bin again and start with trick number 1. If you take the plug out of your drain and you have such a large hole and not individual small holes, then you can clean everything perfectly from the inside with the toothbrush. I'll show you how it works if you still have a small sieve in there later in the video. As you can see here, a lot of dirt comes out because the inside of the drain usually doesn't look so nice. In between you can let the water run so that all the dirt is rinsed away. And in the end the drain will look much better. Do this regularly with an old toothbrush. For trick number 2, you should cut off the front bristles of your toothbrush. The important thing here is that you only cut off the front bristles and not right at the bottom but roughly in the center. It's best to cut them in stages so that they start very short at the front and then get higher and higher so that they are back to their normal length from the center of the bristles. Because you can do also something really ingenious with this. Depending on what you want to clean with it, it's not always helpful for the bristles to be the same length everywhere. In some places it also helps if they are a little shorter at the front, as you can see here. This actually works particularly well with your drain, as shown above. If you have a drain with a sieve like this or several small holes, then you can get a little further in with this toothbrush, as the bristles fit much better into the small holes at the front. Of course you won't get the drain really clean from the inside, but it's much better on the surface than if you didn't cut it off. The whole thing also works well on your window frames or all kind of small corners where you can get in much more easily. Put a small amount of cleaner on the old toothbrush and wipe with it to get everything really clean again. You can pack the toothbrush away and take it out again whenever you need it for one of these purposes. This brings us to the third trick. This is the toaster. Of course it is important that you unplug it beforehand so that it is no longer connected to the power supply. Otherwise there is a risk of injury. Now grab an old toothbrush, preferably one that you don't use for cleaning other things, and go through your toaster with it. This will allow you to easily remove small crumbs that are stuck to the side walls. These now fall into the bottom of the toaster. Now all you have to do is open this crumb tray, which almost every toaster has. And then you can dispose of the crumbs straight away and get the toaster really clean again with an old toothbrush. Put it to one side so that you can use it only for the toaster in future. Is your bike chain relatively dry and you want to re-oil it, then you should also rub it with a toothbrush to remove any coarse dirt before applying new oil to the chain. Then you will have cleaned it properly and cycling will be much better than before. For the next trick, you should take an old toothbrush, put a little toothpaste on it and start rubbing your shoes with it. This works on almost all types of shoes, even fabric shoes. But it also works incredibly well on rubber soles, as you'll see in a moment. But the first step is to grab a damp cloth and wipe off the coarse dirt from the shoe, because we don't want to rub it onto the shoe any further. This will remove all kinds of sand, dirt and larger soiling. Now comes the trick with the toothpaste and toothbrush. So grab an old toothbrush and put a small amount of toothpaste on it. Wet it a little every now and then. Now start cleaning your shoes. Rub all over your shoe as if you were brushing your teeth with a toothbrush. Every now and then you need to add a little toothpaste and wet the toothbrush again, as this works best when it's really foaming. You will see the results after a short time. The shoe will become significantly lighter when you brush. And even heavy soiling that has been on the shoe for a long time will be removed really well. Once you have finished the whole process and the shoe is now really full of toothpaste, you can leave it to soak in for a while so that the toothpaste can take full effect again. It's best to leave the shoe for around half an hour before continuing with the next and final step, because all you have to do now is remove all the toothpaste residue from your shoe. So grab a damp cloth and wipe all over again until there are no more toothpaste residues on the shoe. Rinse the lap from time to time so that it really works better. And you can now see at first glance how nice and clean the shoe is. But it will look even better when I show you the before and after result. Because I only cleaned this one shoe with the toothbrush and toothpaste, and this is what the other one looks like. And the bottom shoe also looked like this before, as you've just seen, so it works very well whether on the fabric parts or on the lower rubber sole. The shoes are really nice and clean again. You can also see how good the result is from the back. So be sure to try it out on yourself if you have dirty shoes that you want to get clean again. Another thing you can clean very well with the old toothbrush is your keyboard, whether for a normal PC or for a laptop. A lot of dust, dirt or hair usually accumulates in the keyboard. To get these out again, you can also use an old toothbrush and carefully wipe through. This way all the dust is out again at the end and everything is nice and clean again. For the next trick, we don't need the whole toothbrush, just the brush head. Cut it off, take a screw and screw it through from the inside, as you can see here. Now you can use this screw to clamp the whole thing into your cordless drill. And as you can see now, you have the perfect cleaning tool here, which works very well on joints. Because you can also get grout joints wonderfully clean again with toothpaste. Put a small amount of toothpaste in your dirty grout. Wet the brush a little and then rub it through all your grout with the cordless drill and the old toothbrush head. As you can clearly see here, it will become much lighter after a short time. At the end you should wipe away all the residue again, and as you can see, I've now only done half the grout and it looks much nicer and better than before. For our next trick, we want to light a toothbrush in a very specific place. Take a lighter and light the brush here directly under the brush head. However, you should not make sure that it burns. Move the lighter back and forth a little. Do this until the rubber has softened a little. Now you can pull the brush head backwards, as you can see here. Hold it in this position briefly until the whole thing hardens again. Now you have moved your brush and you can use it in the toilet. Apply a small amount of toilet cleaner to the bristles and now go under the rim of the toilet. This is a great way to get right down to the bottom and clean everything properly. Otherwise, it's not so easy to get the toilet clean in these places. Finally, flush again, clean the old toothbrush a little and put it away in the cupboard for the next time. In the next trick, we don't want to clean anything. We use the toothbrush as a tool for a problem that I'm sure you know, because if you've ever tried to thread a needle like this, you'll know how complicated it can be. But a simple toothbrush can help you here too. Simply place the thread you want to thread on the bristles of the toothbrush. I have centered the whole thing here. Grab my needle and place the eye of the needle directly at the height of the thread. Now I try to push the whole thing carefully over the bristles, because the bristles now push the thread through the eye of the needle. Wait until a good amount is visible, so that you only have to pull on it or use another tool such as another needle to pull the thread upwards. And now you have threaded it perfectly, all with the help of a toothbrush. Would you also like to find out more about 11 crazy card tricks that almost nobody knows but everyone should? Then be sure to watch the video I've linked to you now on the screen.